2019 is here. And just when you thought, well, they've probably invented everything. We've got everything we need now. Is there anything left to invent? Let's have a little look at just what gadgets may be on the horizon for the forthcoming year. The Gadget Man is our good friend Matt Porter. Welcome to the show, Matt. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year to you too.
So we think we've got everything. We think there's nothing left that can be invented, right? But just when we say that, something new comes out, Matt.
Well, that's true. I mean, this year we've got a very exciting time ahead of us for our mobile phone use because it'll be the launch of the foldable phone. So our mobile phones will start becoming foldable. So we can fold them out to be larger, to be the size of a tablet. Or if we want them to be smaller, we can fold them down to be a smaller device that will fit in our pocket easily.
Didn't we have that? It's sort of like 20 years ago with the flap that you have to open up to talk into.
Well, yeah, but this is where the screen itself folds.
Oh.
So our phones will be able to fold along the screen. So when they fold out, it will be a full-size screen. So, yeah, the technology has kind of been invented now to allow for that. So flexible displays that can be folded.
This is because we can't seem to make our mind up whether we want small phones or big tablets or something in between. So we're going to have the best of all those worlds.
Yeah, I think we called them phablets, or they were called phablets at some point. This was Samsung when they first released the Note. It was a massive screen, and everyone said no one will want those. And when we all realised, actually, we can see stuff on our screens now, which we couldn't before. So it is kind of like taking that phablet, full-size screen, and being able to fold it down. So, it will fit in your pocket, because this is a problem as well, is we have these big screens, and it's where to put them. You put them in your back pocket, obviously they're going to stick out and be a target. If you put them in the front pocket, then you can't sit down. So,
wow. Well, this is a revelation because, you're right. We don't really know. We like the big screen, but we don't like the importability of the big screen. So this could be, and this year these are coming out, are they?
Yeah, we should be looking, I think, February this year. I think Samsung are going to launch a handset, which will be kind of their 10th anniversary handset, which will have a foldable screen, yeah.
Wow, okay, so the foldable screen on the way. What else, Matt?
We're also looking at Internet of Things, this buzzword we've had for years. Yeah. We have the big three, Google, Apple and Amazon, all producing these devices that we can talk to, but it's the infrastructure that's built around them. So there are thousands of devices now which connect to our smart speakers, and we can switch lights on and off. We can switch ovens on and off. We can do all of these things by being controlled from these devices, and they'll become more intelligent. So when we wake up in the morning, they might decide that we need to turn a light on or something like that. So, it's all, there'll be artificial intelligence built into it as well.
This is just yet another doff of the cap to Star Trek, isn't it?
It is really. I've got them at home. If I walk through my front door at home, there's a sensor there on the as I walk through the door, which will switch certain lights on. Yeah. If I say good night out loud, it will switch all the lights out in the house and all of those kind of things. So, yeah, it's quite cool, really.
I mean, you're right. It does need work because I've got several of these things and they are great fun. But primarily, are they just yet more reasons to be lazy? We're not even getting up and turning lights off now.
I think that they're not. If you're somebody that has difficulty moving around at night or has limited sight, then it's nice that you can walk out of your bedroom if you need to use the lavatory and it switches a few lights on for you so you can see where you're going. So there are definite benefits for them, but obviously, it's a way of being lazy too.
Is this going to continue? You mentioned the three major players in this, and they famously don't really have a lot to do with each other. So you've got three sort of independent systems, and it takes me way, way back to the VHS Beta Video 2000 era where no one knew which one to go with. I mean, that will eventually sort itself out, will it? And they'll all come together.
I think they'll probably remain the three big players. I can't see them working together. There are sort of third-party devices available and systems available. There's one called IFTTT, if then that, which will work between multiple technologies. But yeah, I can't see them coming up with a de facto standard at the moment, because at the moment they're trying to be the person that tops that. So I'm not sure about that.
Now, what about home entertainment, Matt? We had this just before the New Year, or just before Christmas, I think it was, Netflix with this Black Mirror Bandersnatch thing, which was everybody, there was hype surrounding it. It was going to be the first sort of big interactive thing. Yeah. And then it turned out that very few people could actually do it on their telly.
Yeah, I watched that. It was really very impressive. I was quite impressed how there's a thing called latency between making choices on these kind of technologies, and there was almost sort of zero latency. So you didn't really know that your choice had caused the next scene to start playing. So yes, there is an issue where you're playing on multiple devices, and some of those things, like making choices and stuff like that, don't work. But again, you have to kind of have these attempts at doing things in order to push the envelope forward, I guess. But that was a very good example of it working well. I mean, years ago, there was a video game that used to play in the arcades in the 80s that was based on choice. So it's not kind of like a new thing. But, that's interesting what they did. And it was very... very interesting, the result as well, because you kind of keep looping back on yourself in that Bandersnatch.
Yeah,
you don't make the right choice.
It frankly got a bit annoying towards the end.
Yeah, I must admit, I had the same thing, yeah.
All right. Now, of course, the holy grail for home entertainment is, I guess, not 3D, but holograms, where, a scene is played out literally in your living room. Are we any further forward with that, Matt?
I think at the moment the closest thing we've got to that is augmented reality, where we might wear glasses with special lenses in them so that we can see things projected in front of us. But actually to actually have them physically projected as a hologram at the moment is some way off. I think that the answer to it is wearing a headset or special filtered glasses in order to have that projected on the lens of sort of augmented reality. But there is I think the virtual reality side of things, where you actually have a whole headset on there, is coming along in leaps and bounds. Yeah. As again, that's got some way to go, because you can feel quite ill sometimes wearing them.
That is true.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, my boy's got one. Sometimes he comes through and he's looking particularly green. You put your headset down for 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and they do stuff that they could just go outside and do in actual reality. That's what I find amazing.
Well, that's right. Yeah, there are kind of... that's it, and you find yourself walking into things if you're not careful.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's all good. Good stuff, then.
I get the sense that technology is once again going to be focused on the mobile phone. It seems to be like it's almost an appendage now to the human body.
It's just sort of all-encompassing, isn't it? And with the launch of 5G, which is the new network standard, which will be launching in the next year or so, well, that will give in even faster speeds, up to something like 400 megabits per second or 1.4 gigabits per second transfer rate. So we'll be able to download things very quickly, view videos very quickly. I do find myself that my mobile network provides a faster download speed than my home network.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I can get 70 odd megabits per second from my home broadband, but when I switch on my mobile, I can get 100, and it's from the same company. And I just wish I just had the mobile and got charged the same. But yeah, that speed of the internet is certainly something to look out for in the next year or so. And of course, people that are in more rural areas, they're going to be looking to try and get any kind of internet at all. So
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, the 5G will help towards that.
This could go some way to solving that. And of course, the downside of the mobile phone is the damn battery life. Any movement on that? Are we seeing, some fantastic new battery on the horizon that will last,
There are technologies being tested all the time. There's one being tested at the moment, which apparently will allow us to charge our phones within sort of 30 seconds or whatever. It's all down to the technology inside. I mean, we're using generally it's about squashing battery into a small device. We want a tiny device, nice thin light device, but we want a battery that lasts 48 hours, and it's all about physics. Being physically
exactly.
Get molecules into a space. But,
certain things are a finite size. You're right. Finally, Matt, will this be the year the robots take over, or are we safe for another year?
artificial intelligence is the big thing. Most technology companies are using them now. We'll probably find that when we're ringing up call centres, we're talking to something that's pretty close to artificial intelligence. But it's not a person. It's just giving you answers based again on your questions. So cars as well, there'll be a lot of artificial intelligence being put into cars all the time to help us keep us safe, so avoid accidents, keep us in lane, automatically braking, all of those kind of things. So and I think there's also talk about having technology companies getting artificial intelligence to learn from other artificial intelligence, so almost to put them into battle with each other to learn. That's a bit scary.
Yeah, the revenge from Robot Wars of all those years
exactly.
ago. All right. Yeah. Matt Porter, what a fascinating insight into 2019. The big news there, foldable mobile phones on their way as soon as February.